Hi, I'm Lindsay, your farm vet tech from Dutch Hollow Acres, and today we're going to talk about eyeballs. If you come home to a horse with a squinty eye, or it's really draining, it is visibly in pain where the eyelashes point down, you see swelling, puffiness, they can't open it. What you're going to do, as I said, we check bilaterally and see what's going on. When you're first assessing your horse for any eye problems, what you're going to want to do is look at both sides. So you're going to look at both sides of the horse and you're going to compare them to one another. So when we look at Cotton straight on, hi Cotton, you're going to look at those eyelashes. If you notice, the eyelashes on this side of her head stick out this direction, and we look at the eyelashes on this side of her head, they point down. That is an indication of pain. It should be taken seriously. Here's another view. You can see the eyelashes are pointing down while her other eye is open and the eyelashes point outwards. This is where Cotton's gonna hate me. She's already been on atropine. Her eye is already gonna be dilated. I just turned the flash on my camera and I'm gonna make her open her eye. So the best way that I like to do it is I get my hand underneath their halter. That way if they move their head, my hand's going with them. And I take my finger and I'm gonna push her eye up, bring her eye down. Whoops, come on, honey. It's hard to do and film this at the same time. And there, you can see how big and wide open that pupil is. And we're just taking a look to see how her eye is right now. And if you do open the eye like I showed you how, what you can do is you can take a look inside of it. You're looking for any debris that might be in there. Sometimes they have a piece of hay. It's their version of getting an eyelash. You and I have all had an eyelash in your eye and you're like, oh my God, unbelievable pain, dying, get it out. That's what it feels like to them. So if you do see it, you're going to take a gloved hand or a very clean hand and just touch, see if you can get that hay to come out. Another thing you can do, a lot of us, wear glasses or contacts. You can take the saline solution, those little bottles, not the big one. So keep that in your medicine cabinet. Grab that little bottle, open up, squirt it in, flush it out. Sometimes that'll get their stuff out. But the next step, always 100% of the time, if you have an eye issue, you're calling your vet. Any eye problem, call your vet. The reason for this is you and I get an eyelash and we're like, ow, ow, ow. We close our eye, we go into the mirror, we look at it, we go bink, and we try to get it out. They don't have hands, they got hooves. So what they do is they go, ow, 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 I got something in my eye. What's the first thing they do? They bend their head down, they rub it on their leg, they go to the side of the barn, they rub it on that, they find a tree, they're trying to dislodge whatever got in their eye, and they're gonna rub. Now imagine you have a piece of hay or straw in your eye, and instead of going into the thing, you went ow, ow to get it out. You rubbed your head, or you viciously rubbed your eye. You've now scratched your cornea. So that's what happened to poor Cotton and why she is having eye problems right now. It was a windy day. We had 35, 40 mile an hour winds. Something blew into her eye. She freaked out, rubbed her eyeball, and she lacerated her cornea from one corner of her eye all the way to the other corner of her eye. It's a really big cut she got on there. I didn't even mess with this one. It was bad enough and she was squinting hard enough. It was a call right to my vet. Eye problems are always an emergency same day call. You might not have to wake them up in the middle of the night. They probably prefer it if you didn't, but it is during working hours, call your vet. Since there is a lot of swelling, things you can do at home. You can put a tea bag on the eye to help bring some of that swelling down. An ice pack to try to bring some of that swelling down while you're waiting for your vet. So now that your vet has showed up, you're going to have your horse come and crossed eyes. You're gonna put it in as dark of an area as you can. If you have a barn door like I do that's producing this amount of light, close that barn door, make it nice and dark. Because what your vet's gonna end up doing is doing a fluorescein stain. They're gonna put a stain in their eyebrow, and then they're gonna go out with like a black light and look at it. And what that does is it tells you if there's a cut, the cornea is actually a protective lens. It's going to reject that staining unless it's damaged in any way. And then if there's a damaged area, it's actually going to absorb that stain and it's gonna glow. And you're gonna go, there's the cut, I see it. It's very easy. It's something you can't see with a naked eye normally. So that is why you always call the vet for eye emergencies. It is an emergency. Bring them out same day. I know you don't want to. I know it's not money out of your pocket, but just think what it feels like when you get that eyelash in your eye. It hurts a lot. This is something that is extremely painful. Please call your vet. Vet has done fluorescein stain. In her case, we found an issue. She did cut it, so now we need to medicate. Depending on your location is gonna tell you what kind of drugs you're going to get from your vet. The most common start to this in our area is an atropine and like a terramycin antibiotic. These come in little tubes that you can put in the eye. You're going to have to do that 4 times a day. Yes, I said 4 times a day. Why? Well, here's why. The body is an amazing thing, and it really works hard to protect itself. Your immune system does a great job, but your body says, I don't want any of those things to go 2 places. One is your brain and one is your eyes. So there's an actual protective blood-brain barrier and a blood-eye barrier where things can't transmit. Which is why if you have an issue with your eye, not give you oral antibiotics to fix the problem, you have to topically put them in. Your eye has this great mechanism to try to clean whatever is in your eye called tears. So great, you just put antibiotics in the eyeball and the eyeball's first job is go, uh-oh, foreign body, get it out. And it will work really hard within about 10 minutes and whatever you put in that eye, gone. So while they say 4 times a day, don't panic. It's not every 4 hours that you have to worry about. They want it in there 4 times a day, which means she's the first one to come in for chores in the morning, bloop, bloop, put it in her eyeball. She's the last one to go out when my chores are done, bloop, bloop, put it in her eyeball. First again for evening, bloop, bloop, put it in her eye, come back out for night check, bloop, bloop, coming in her eye. There's my 4 times a day. It's not terrible. It's not something that is going to really ruin your existence. Oh my God, I got to do this 4 times a day, every 6 hours, I'm losing sleep. No. So how do you administer these drugs? I'm going to have to switch the helmet cam and we'll show you how I do it. Because I need 2 hands to do things. So you're going to get a front hand view how I medicate some things. Our first up is Cotton. She's the mare with a lacerated cornea. Lord knows how she did that. So in case you're wondering, these are all prescribed by vets. We got atropine and we got terramycin. And I put it on a gloved finger. This is our boo-boo eyeball right here. As you can, we're just starting to look really, really good. We're on day 3, maybe 4 of treating this. She's not a fan. I know. And she's a really... I want it. There we go. Good girl. If you live in another part of the country, especially in the southern states where it's nice and moist and there's just so many things growing out there, they're probably going to give you 3 medicines. You're going to get your atropine, boom, dilate the eye so everything can go in and start doing its magic. You're going to get an antibiotic, which is going to help start to repair it as the body's repairing things to make sure that nothing gets in there to infect it. And then the third thing is you're going to get an antifungal. Yes, I said antifungal. That's because for many of you folks that live in the southern states, you got a lot of spores in the air. There's a lot going on and your eyes open, and since that cornea has been punctured or cut in some way, shape, or form, it allows fungal spores to get in there along with bacterial. If in 3 days, so like say this happened on a Friday, by Monday you do not see a very improved difference in the eye. As I said, the eye is really fast at repairing itself. So if this happens on a Friday, Monday comes and you're like, wow, their eye is squinty shut, nothing's really seems to be changing, call your vet again. The reason why you want to do this is because that antibiotic might not be doing its job. Or if you're not on an antifungal, you might have a fungal problem on top of whatever's going on. Give your vet a call. They've already come out here, they've already seen it. Chances are they're just gonna say, hey, come by the office, we're gonna give you a different antibiotic to try, or come by the office, we're gonna give you an antifungal prescription to put in the eye. And if you don't see change in about 3 days, always ask for different options. Back to our case patient here. Cotton got a scratch on a Friday, like I said. By Monday, I didn't see a change. I called my vet. They did end up prescribing me a second antibiotic to try. That antibiotic is actually doing its job, and Cotton is on the mend. You notice that while her eyelashes are still down, we're making progress in the right direction. And I anticipate her being perfectly fine and ready to turn out with nothing and no issues here in probably another 2-3 days. I keep her in when the sun is really bright. I try to keep her inside, or she wears that UV mask that I was telling you about before. You can sympathize with your horse. An eyeball is an eyeball is an eyeball, which means your eye is no different than their eye is no different than your dog's eye. An eyeball is an eyeball is an eyeball. The pain that you can familiarize yourself with any time that you had an issue with your eye is the same pain that they're feeling. Our conclusion, eyeballs, always an emergency. Very treatable. The eye is very fast at treating itself as long as you stay on top of it. 4 times a day for your meds that you are provided. Don't panic. They don't have to be 6 hours apart. It's 4 times a day because the eye is flushing whatever's in there constantly out. So as long as you can give like a half hour in between as you're doing chores, as I said, I bring her in, I gook her eye. When I go to turn out, I gook her eye. In the evening, I bring her in, gook her eye, and again at night check. It's not a lot. Hi guys, if you enjoyed the information in this video, I urge you to subscribe below and come on back because I'm going to take my vet tech degree and license and apply it to farm. Not too many people do that because I'm a little nuts. Next week's topic is going to be rotococcal pneumonia in foals. If you have a foal this year, what you should look out for and why is pneumonia considered the silent killer?